I definitely don't.
No, I don't want it to be a thing. I'm not trying to be, I don't know.
Yeah, like I want us to get to know each other in general.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We are back with Married at First Sight season 19 in Austin, Texas. Woohoo! Listen, we are back with Married at First Sight, and I can't lie, I'm actually enjoying this particular season. I think this has a very good hallmark of a very good season because the couples seem evenly matched. Now, do I think that everybody's perfect? No, but I think they're evenly matched. I think there are things that people can learn here, and if the experts actually get involved, people can actually make it through. I can't lie to you, okay? Don't worry about my Jesus robe, okay? But these couples are real couples. This is why I like them. Okay. You know, we just watched Jaylen and Josh have a little bit of a conversation. She shut down as he tried to approach her and let her know about he wanted more from her. And she immediately shut down. We'll talk about that. We have Brittany and Will, who right now are hitting it raw. Okay. All right. And actually, they're married. There's nothing really wrong with that. But the fact of the matter is they haven't worked out all the kinks of the relationship. So now hitting it raw means problems. Okay, all right, we're not thinking straight once more again, and we need to talk about what's happening with those two there as well. Sorry, Derek and Megan. I said that was Josh and Jaylen. Josh and Jaylen seem to be cool. Josh and Jaylen, you know, right now, Josh and Jaylen seem to be really, really cool. It's working for them right now. You know, you see Jaylen buying her a new ring, and on the show we see how buying her a new ring, and you know, she seems happy, she's enjoyable, she's willing to go outside of her way to do experiences that don't necessarily work with her. Right now, they're in a sweet spot. If we're going to talk about who's at the top, these people are at the top right now. Okay, all right. So we ain't even gonna be mad. Okay, all right. Right now, they are seemingly at the top. And then we also have other couples like Pat and Rhonda, their situation really interesting. She had a really good conversation with Pat, let him know that, you know, she wanted him to be a bit more invested in her and not try and overcut her and try to identify too much with her stories, which I loved. I think that was a great way to handle affairs with him as well. And then we have obviously Chad and Belinda, and right now again it looks good with Chad and Belinda. They seem to be laughing, joking, having fun. We know that there's probably going to be some stuff coming later on because he said he's an arsehole. He said that he knows how to be one. He isn't one, but he can be one. And I said, oh, he's going to be an arsehole. He's going to have those moments, which is going to be really interesting as well to see a little bit later on as well in the show. So look, there's a lot to get through, a lot to break down, and these couples seem like they are ripe for the picking this particular season. If you haven't tuned into the season, I'm imploring you, tune in because you're going to learn a lot in this season. By the way, if you are here as well, I want to let you guys know that by all means, listen, you know, we love being able to have you here, but make sure you guys are also joining the membership as well, because it will go members only in the chat very soon. Okay, give it about 10 minutes or so, it's gonna go members only. So before I bring anybody else up, I know Elsa is waiting for me too, I want to just do a quick little breakdown of some of the things that actually happened and hopefully be able to give you guys a little bit more of an understanding of what happened, especially in episode 4. If you're following my channel already, if you're liking, you're sharing, and you are subscribing, then you already know, listen baby, you're getting the uploads because I'm breaking each episode down and all the different couples and things that are happening in those particular episodes. So I haven't done episode 4. I think it'd be a great time to do a quick little breakdown of these couples really, really quickly, just to give you an understanding of what was actually happening here as well. Let's just start first and foremost with obviously Josh and Jaylen, and I'll give you a quick breakdown of what, sorry, I keep saying Josh and Jaylen, Derek and Megan, and kind of break down what happened with them really, really quickly. Again, if you haven't done so, make sure you guys are liking, you're sharing, and you are subscribed to the channel. And don't forget to hype this video up. It always helps with that as well. Let's look at this. Okay, looking at the scene here, we know what's going to happen. Okay, all right, we're going to just read a little bit out. My God. My internet wants to play up. Okay, okay. Can you let me press the play? Thank you.
I feel very ambushed. So I just need like a second to breathe.
So what are you thinking?
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just so aggravated.
Okay.
Alrighty, so what's really interesting about Derek and Megan is this. Megan told us very interestingly at the very beginning that her friends told her, you need a man that's so assertive and assertive as you. okay, now we can see what's happening here. Megan can't deal with a man that's assertive, because if he was assertive, she'd actually end up not being able to deal with the situation, right? So the very thing that Megan actually wants, she actually can't actually deal with. The thing that she wants is to have somebody who's assertive, but she can't. She can't deal with it, because any form of criticism is going to look like she's being criticized for who she actually is. And the reason why this actually happens is because if you look at her background and look at what she's actually experienced, her mother was a tyrant. Yeah, her mother was a tyrant. Okay, her mother seems to be highly critical, highly strong, controlling, and leading her life. And what that has entailed is that Megan doesn't have a voice of her own. Okay, Megan doesn't have a voice of her own. And so what's happened for Megan in this moment is that when Derek decided to tell her that she wasn't that he needed more from her, what she heard, this is very important, what she heard from him was, I am not doing enough. And at that moment, Megan does not have the resources or the tools to be able to do more than what she's doing. That's the problem, right? Megan thinks, okay, she heard something, okay, in that immediate moment. And this is something that I said earlier in my review about, I think she might be a fearful avoidant. You don't see it straight away, okay, but you see it as the mother comes into play. Okay, all right. So in that immediate moment, okay, when he brings up his hey, I want you to ask more questions, I want you to tap in, all she's hearing is, okay, not that I need to, ask more questions or shift my position. Her immediate thought was, you're criticizing me, you don't like me, I'm not good enough, maybe I can't reach your level. Immediately her thought goes into a spiral. And in that spiral, because she doesn't deal well with her own emotions, because she's not doing well with learning how to regulate her emotions very well, immediately what starts to happen is a shutdown. Whenever people start to shut down, it's because they feel overwhelmed with the amount of information coming in. And usually it's because you don't have the emotional capacity to deal with what's going on right in front of you. And that's very frustrating for somebody who's in a relationship with you, because if they don't know you, that's hella annoying, because I'm only asking you to be able to open up and ask more questions of me. But if you listen to that episode, you heard her say earlier on, she wants to keep it light. She wants to keep it on the surface. She doesn't want to get too deep. We've got our whole lives to get deep. What she actually was saying is, I'm afraid to get emotionally deep, because getting emotionally deep means unpacking emotions, and I'm not good at unpacking emotions right now. Getting that deep would also mean that I have to care about you in a particular way. And if I have to care about you in a particular way, I can get really hurt. So long as it stays surface, I can't get really hurt. I can't get rejected. I can't get abandoned, and I cannot get betrayed, so long as I stay surface level. And so immediately when Derek is asking for more, the immediate perspective of her is, oh my God, like he's drawing me in deeper before I want to. And what you have to understand about fearful avoidance, and I believe she might be a fearful avoidant, is that they look at things as a power struggle. Okay, right? So immediately him asking for more, she immediately has a negative perspective, because it's now feeling like, okay, he has power in a relationship now, because he's actually saying what he actually wants. This is actually really important. And what Megan is not doing is saying what she actually wants, not without her being angry. Okay, not without her being angry. There is a difference in you being able to say what you want on a normal level, on a normal day, to being when you are angry and your back's against the wall and your needs have not been met for a very long time. Right now, it's really intriguing, because I said earlier on about that when I look at Derek, and I look at maybe the way that he operates, I said he's got that anxious disposition. And it was confirmed because when he was talking to the lads, I was expecting that Derek would already have this understanding, I need to talk to her. But he went to the boys and was like, and I think it was, I can't remember who said to him, oh, you need to have the conversation with her now. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go and have the conversation. And I was like, oh, I thought Derek would have had that mindset to go and speak to her now straight away anyway. But then I recognized that, yes, when he tells you about what his dad was and how his dad was running on the boat, screaming and shouting, saying how, for him, the ship's going to go down or whatever. This probably created an anxious attachment for him, being in a scenario where you're consistently agitated by your parent. Not that your parent hates you or anything like that, but you're constantly agitated by your parent. And that can probably create an anxious attachment style. And that's probably why, he comes across almost like he's confident, but then at the same time, he seems a little bit jittery and nervous. And so that in itself, coming across with that conversation, it shouldn't have been a difficult one, but unfortunately the person who is in the person who he's with is going to require a much more lighter touch. So then quickly, what would be helpful in this scenario? Let me tell you something, you're not going to like it. Okay, all right, I'm going to say something and you're not going to like it. You know why I know? Because when I say about how the ladies should talk to the men, they tell me that we're infantilizing the men. But let me tell you what's happening. Okay? I'm going to tell you what needs to happen. Number one, the way that he addresses a situation and scenario needs a positive reframe. Right now, he has no money in the bank. What does that mean? It means that he has no stock in this particular person right now. So any negative hits harder because that person has not built up any reserves with you yet. So he has to follow a particular principle, I believe, when you're dealing with people who are avoidance. And that is, I've coined it before, CBEEC. It means you must first compliment and positively reframe whatever you're about to say. And you may not like that because you're like, why can't I just say it how I want to say it? Yeah, but that's how you're going to lose a relationship, okay? You've got to positively reframe it. A positive reframe could be, look, I'm really enjoying our time. I'm loving spending time with you. I love what we're doing. You know what I'm saying to you? What I want, what would further enhance our connection is that, I would love for you to ask a few more questions about me too. Because I want to be able to engage more with you. I want to get to know you a bit better. I want you to know me a bit better. And I want to continue this good energy that we're bringing to the table. That's a positive reframe. Because first of all, you're not telling the person you're not doing enough. You're telling them, hey, look, I love what you're doing already. I want to see more. Right. And what you must understand is that Megan probably hasn't had positive language from her mom enough. And that is a big thing. So whenever it comes to say something nice, when it comes to divulging this information first, you have to lead with a positive reframe first, then talk about the behavior and how it makes you feel and what we want to see as a change a little bit later on. So that's them two really, really quickly. Then we got to talk about, obviously, the other couple, right? You know who they are, okay? All right, it is the black couple, okay? The black couple, okay? The Derek sorry, not the Derek, the Will and the Brittany, because ooh la la, what's going on there, okay? All right, ooh la la, what's going on there? Okay, let's talk about these two really, really quickly as well.
And they eventually became distant, and I started to notice those things with Will this morning, and I'm trying to not let that feed into our dinner, but I'm just going to let him sort of take the lead.
Now, listen, Brittany and Will are a perfect example of what I said about two people who they're both avoidance, how they end up having what we call a power struggle in the relationship. Now, why are Brittany and Will having trouble? The reason why they're having trouble is because neither of them are actually really communicating what's actually going on. Okay, all right. We should not choose any side right now. They're both wrong. I want to just highlight that to you. Do not choose Brittany and do not choose Will. They'll both let you down. Let me tell you why. When you look at this scenario, okay, they had sex, and they enjoyed it, okay, of course. But after the sex, something happened. Here's what happened. Two things happened. Number one, people that are avoidant, someone like Brittany, who I think carries more of a dismissive kind of perspective, right? Vulnerability starts to happen when you open your legs. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? Because you're also committed. So this is not a normal situation. If she was having a one-night stand, she would have just been like, yeah, had a one-night stand, and then moved on. This is not. She's had sex in the mind frame of this is going to be a commitment. The problem with that is that she's now vulnerable and she does not like being vulnerable. She's now open and she does not like being open. She's now having feelings and she does not like the feelings. So she's now feeling vulnerable. So in that moment after the sex, her hypervigilance kicks in. So a lot of people think that, they're very, they got that woman intuition. This is not woman intuition. This is hypervigilance. Hypervigilance happens when we are hyper concentrated on patterns of betrayal, rejection, or abandonment. And so her particular pattern is to watch out for people who begin to distance themselves in relationships. So she explains that her previous boyfriend did that. They had sex and then he just kind of began to pull away. Okay, he began to pull away. And so for her, in her mind, she's looking out for any sign of abandonment. And so immediately when she sees any sign of that abandonment, she jumps on it, right? And it's the way that she then begins to express that she needs reassurance. What she did explain it a bit in the last episode, right? She explained that she would rather him say those particular things after. Sometimes you just need to just put a label on it to make people understand. You want what they should say and what the label is. I need reassurance, and reassurance looks like this to me. Just to make it a bit more clear for people, because sometimes people don't always pick up what you're putting down. Even though they heard the example, they don't actually know what that actually is. So sometimes you just need to make it plain. But that immediately, his reaction also triggered her. And then I said it works both ways, because as much as he looks like he's being regulated, he actually isn't regulated. I'm gonna tell you the truth. He's not regulated. You might think he's regulated because he's not shouting, he's not screaming, he's not making noise, but he actually isn't regulated. I'm gonna tell you this now. Look, Brittany is not the only problem in the situation. He's a problem too. Let me tell you why. Having a non-expression is also an indication that you're not emotionally available in those moments, because what you've done is you've turned off your receptors. You've turned off your responses in that space, and actually you're not that cool. And that's also what she's sensing. This is why it's triggering her. It's on both sides, by the way. He's getting look. He's not saying it, but he's getting triggered by the fact that she's being. But he's acting as if I'm really cool, I'm good. But when someone's not good, when they're unable to really establish or really talk with you on an emotional plane, when they're very. So you notice the conversation they had a little bit later on, or early on, it might have been where they were on the balcony, and she expressed to him that she felt some way, and he was like very like, what do you want to say? Like, he wanted to know what she wanted to say, right? If I can get that clip for you guys, because that was a really powerful scene, because that's what told me that he was not regulated at all, and all that is a facade. He doesn't even know what he needs. Okay, so these are two people on the same situation. They're both a problem. Okay, they're both a problem. Let me just play a little clip. Man, my internet want to.
I don't need you to tell me how cute I am.
Okay, that's fine. What do you like? I don't need you to
hold my hand all the time.
What would make you feel like? What should I, as your wife, like, what should I be doing? Like, what are some of the things that you like?
But I mean, if you enjoy touching, that's okay.
Brother, why can't you answer the question? She's asking you, do you like words of affirmation? You said no. You said I'm indifferent. I don't really. But if you like it, and so what you start realizing is that he actually can't identify his own emotions. So immediately, instead of actually identifying, so what he is a chameleon. He's a chameleon, and he doesn't recognize he's a chameleon. I don't know if he's actually aware that he's a chameleon. What I mean by that is he mirrors what you do. So, like, for instance, the reason why he couldn't answer the question about what she said is because he's consistently mirroring, which means probably more than likely, don't go there, guys. He's not a narcissist. I know you haven't said it yet, but please don't say it's not. It might be narcissistic. People that haven't had a good model of having people who have modeled emotional safety to you, and modeled safely what it's like to express yourself emotionally and actually understand what you feel. When you've not actually had that, and you've not been able to experience that, okay, you've not been able to experience that, right? In that space, what tends to happen is that person doesn't get the chance to develop a lot of these aspects where you're able to really identify what you actually need. So in that particular scene, when she's asking the question, it's a very simple question. He went around the mulberry bush to say, if you like it, it's nothing to do with whether you like it or not. And there's actually a big indication about your insecurity when someone asks you what you need, and you always say, what do you need? Or you say, if you like it. It's not about whether I like it or not. I'm asking you. So you're supposed to say, I like this. You said, okay, in the end, okay, in the end, he ended up saying, oh, you know, I don't actually necessarily don't need it. I don't want it, right? But okay, so what do you need? You notice he never answered that question. What do you need? Is it physical touch? Is it words of affirmation? Is it gifts? Is it acts of service? What do you need? And we didn't get the answer because he's not identifying what he needs to identify with. Right? So until he starts to identify essentially with what he actually needs and starts focusing on self and stop being a chameleon, which is copying what the other person is doing, or I should say, wrong word, mirroring what the other person is doing, because that's why he can date somebody who he never found attractive but likes their mind. Really and truly, you were mirroring. You were never really involved. You were mirroring the person's behavior, right? And it's not to say that he's a nasty person. He's not a mean person per se. No, it's he just lacks self-awareness of what he actually needs. And Brittany, in some shape or form, is kind of a mirror to him as well, because she knows what she wants, but in a sense of doesn't know how to express it. And so these two are going to keep bouncing off each other, trying to assess what's actually going on. I'll play the last little clip, and then I'll get
Okay, at least I just said quality time is okay. I'm sorry. I guess that's
okay.
not great.
We're not getting anywhere, and it's like, it's bothering me. Like, really. Sorry.
So, yes. So this is really powerful. Like I said, this can work. If they can do the work, this can work. There's a lot of people like this. If you're watching this, you might have been in a similar situation yourself. And like I've always said this, like, everybody needs to pay attention, because there are aspects of these people that we actually can see ourselves in, and we can start to learn and grow and heal and transform and be better partners when we learn from these people. So when I look at Brittany and I look at Will, I can see that at points in time I've not maybe always identified with my own emotions or identified with my own needs, and I've kind of become this great service person, like where I'm always servicing the other person's needs at the expense of my own, as well. Yes, it could be that he's used to accommodating his partner. Yes. And that aspect. And there's nothing wrong with her, again, wanting to know, it is just like I said, the pressure is that he doesn't know. So you have to give him a bit of space. And she also wants reassurance, and he's going to have to give her reassurance and validation. So this is something, the chicken or the egg is going to come first. Who's going to go first? Someone needs to go first. So it's gonna be interesting as well in that space as well. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, because like I said, I don't see the whole. Those are two ones I really want to focus on and break down. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to talk about episode 1 to 4. But I'm gonna get Elsid on, and I'm sure a few other people might probably join us a little bit later on as well in this conversation. If not, it is what it is. We'll flow and we'll vibe. You know what I'm saying to you? Because this season is something that I'm enjoying as well. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you guys are liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing, you're clicking on that wonderful bell button for notifications of the uploads. Okay, make sure you're hyping the video up, and it's about to go members only in the chat. So if you're not a member, it's £1 or $1. I made it cheap. Sometimes I think to myself, make it at least $2. Because when you make it too cheap, people don't appreciate it. But you know what? It's £1 or $1, so we appreciate you. Okay, all right. Make sure you guys are on the membership. All right, cool. The $ below the chat. Click on it. You can do it on your iPhone now. They've told us you can do it on your iPhone now. So we've got the upgrade. So go ahead and sign up to that membership if you haven't done so already. Let me get Elsid up, and let's have a wonderful conversation today. Elsid.
Hey. I love Will and Brittany. I really do like them. They could work. I could see it's going to take work, but they could work. What I see when I look at them, he's observing her like she's under a microscope. That's what I see. He's observing her because he's trying to learn the lay of the land, what makes you tick, what makes you react. He's really, really observing her. She, on the other hand, is saying, I need you to tell me what you like so I don't do anything inadvertently to push you back. And that's where we're kind of like dancing without being close to each other, because it's like he says, behave naturally, so he could see how she behaves and he could adjust, or he could mirror or do what he needs to do. but she's like, I don't want to be the first to do something in case that's not what you actually want me to do. And then I ruin this marriage. So we need to take a leap of faith. Somebody need to take a leap of faith in this. And I would like it to be him. I would like it to be him. But here's where I believe it's going to be hard. If you are a mirror, it's hard for you to be the initiator. It's hard, you know, and y'all, I don't know how y'all may feel about Will, but, you know, I used to be Will quite a lot in my 20s. I used to be Will. I used to watch and observe so I could kind of like dissect. And I could see that with Will, and then he's using his vocabulary to kind of test her to see if she rises to a certain level for him. But I think he was rubbed a little bit wrong, and I hope he will forgive her for that. At the altar, she kind of cut him off to say hello to his family, but we're all caught up in the emotion at the altar. I hope he doesn't carry that. But Will is in his head, she's in her head, and I need them to kind of get out of there. And somebody gotta take their walls down for them to come together. They can come together, but somebody. The production is trying to help, you know, but Will, don't see it as chasing after her. Don't see it as she needs her space. Yes, she needs her space. Give her a breather. Go check on her. Say, hey, I want to check on you. I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but I'm upstairs. When you're ready to talk, let's talk. That's all you need to say. It's not considered weakness or less than or whatever. And, you know, I think this is also a reason why we shouldn't go, you know, really physical too fast. It's too physical too fast. Our judgment is kind of clouded. Our emotions are in it too fast. But Will, I'm watching you because you're deflecting her questions. She's been asking you, are you, you know, easy to open up, or do you take your time to open up? And you deflected like, oh, that was a good question. Where that question came from? I'm watching you. Because you're a mirror, you're not giving her an actual, you know, she didn't tell you, so you can't reflect. And I saw your little divert, you know, exit stage left. But it's like, exactly, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. And what he's trying to, he doesn't know, but what he's trying to do is see, am I going to be comfortable with who you are? And it could work, but somebody got to take the leap. Somebody got to take the leap of faith.
It could. We'll start with Will and Brittany, because I think we can really do some good work here, because of course we both have avoidant backgrounds, so we can really understand these characters on a deeper level. And I think with Will, the difficulty of Will, and I it was interesting to see how the edits edited him. So with his friends, we got a lot more. It's interesting because, again, I took notes and I was like, we didn't get as much detail about his background in terms of his parents per se. We got a little bit of detail. We did. We got some detail. We understood.
They were divorced.
His parents, they were divorced. And then that was kind of it. And then it kind of focused on what's happening currently, and then obviously his relationships romantically. But what was also interesting was that he did something really interesting with his friends. He started using really big words, and the friends were like, damn, what's that word even mean? And someone might say, well, he's just being him. I always say that, well, if you're around your friends that you've been around for a very long time, right? You kind of know how to handle your friends a particular way. You know what I mean? But I feel like he uses those big words almost in a sense, and I don't want to judge and prejudge. It's my thought process as an avoidant perspective too, that sometimes you have a friendship group that you are better than your friend, quote unquote. You might feel like you're better than your friendship group. You know what I mean? Like you're using these big words and you are the smartest one of your group. But I say that because avoidants also are looking for, especially if you're fearful of what you're looking for, someone to be special. So if you're the person who's very intelligent, you are special in your group because you are the most intelligent. And that gives you some leverage or some status in the group. And if you look at the group, although he's not necessarily the alpha type kind of person, it seems like he's the smartest one of the group. And that's not to say like that's not to say like he's being bad. Again, this is not about him being bad. This is literally about behaviors, about how he feels comfortable and feels safe. And so the same thing is when you mention that question, that's why he then kind of almost came across as if he was belittling her, because I don't know if he believes that she's on his intellectual level. And that's probably one of his biggest issues that have happened in relationships, because what avoidance tend to do also too is have a lot of pride. We have a lot of pride because of our hyper independence. So we choose something that will give us some level of security or safety. And a lot of us is our intelligence. We are intelligent people. We're we observe very well. We study very well. We are very we take our time to really, nitpick things and really break things down. So like if he's a teacher, he'll be an amazing teacher because he will observe, he'll break things down, and people will really understand where he's coming from. The problem is when you're in a relationship, it comes off as arrogance, it comes off as condescending, it comes off as you think you're better than people, comes off very prideful. And so it's like, that's why when she asked the question, someone's like, well done, you gave a really deep question. And it's like and that's because he's assessed her and said, you're not my level. And that's going to be a big issue if he doesn't start changing the way that he feels, the way that she's showing up, and the way that he has to show up. And it's showing that he's unable to be present in the moments. He's always almost on the edge of the peripheral of the relationship. It's like, I'm standing here watching you and I'm watching how you move. And I see that you're not really at that level yet. Let me bring you up to that level first before we can fully engage. It's just a way of keeping yourself safe. He's not open all the way just yet. But yeah, I don't know if you want to add something else.
And here's where he's incorrect, because she may be above his level, just presents differently because she doesn't put that on. When I heard him say those words, I said, oh, you nervous. You nervous. When he uses his, loquacious and his SAT, vocabulary, I was like, ooh, you nervous and you scared out your wits. And this is your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is exerting your intelligence on others. So I was like, oh, I see how scared you are about this marriage, because he started using it when they were like, well, what if she may not like you? It kind of like they started asking deeper questions of what if this don't work out that he did not consider. So now he's got to put his intelligence in the forefront again, because you made him feel less than. You made him feel that, oh, this is a question I did not think about. Now I gotta one up you, because what we can't do is have me feel like I'm, less than in the group. So I'm like, whenever he uses that, I'm like, okay, whenever he gets quiet and he's watching her, because he's very intense when he's watching her, I said, okay, I understand. The same thing with her parents. He does not think her parents are on his level. And I wonder if he used that heavily to judge her. I hope he does not use that heavily to judge her. But hey, she wants to be on Jeopardy. The young lady is decorated, with her education. She may not present it all the time, but she's decorated. She just doesn't feel the need to play it up. She doesn't have to. So I just I'm observing him. It's very interesting to me to observe him, to observe her and how she's moving. And I wonder if both of them have ever encountered someone of their intelligence, because that's what it's telling me. We both got a brain, and we don't know how our brains are coming together. Have you encountered that? I certainly can say that I have encountered someone on my intellectual level, and it's like, oh, no, we can't do this. I can't cross swords with you.
Yeah. And again, because intelligence is exhibited in different ways, right? So for instance, she is a very decorated person. So her intelligence is that, I'm going to put it so it's very plain. Let's say she's book smart, right? And she just, boom, and her work intelligent that way. It's the way it's exhibited as to why he's also missing her intelligence. So like someone can be very book smart, but not street smart. So then, it's like a street thug looking at a person who's book smart, like, bro, you smart, but when you come to the streets, broski, you ain't really smart. So it's like, it depends on how it's exhibited and where it's been exhibited. So for him, the way he's judging her, he's not judging her based on her academics or her scholarship. It is how she articulates herself, how she brings her points together. And so at that place for him, when he sees how she articulates her points, he goes, you're not my level. And I can't mirror that also, because it sounds dumb to me. So I can't mirror that. Do you get what I'm saying to you? That's what's going to be the issue for him. And that's the arrogance and the pride that we have. And so he has to start working through that, because really and truly that is, it's like you said, it's a fear response. of being able to actually be able to open yourself up and being vulnerable with somebody and actually be present with them and enjoy who they actually are and actually explore who she is, because your value is coming from that intelligence and you being able to express yourself in that format. But there is so many other ways that someone can be intelligent, so many other ways that someone can exhibit greatness, so many other ways that someone can exhibit how amazing they can be, in that particular space as well. So this is actually something for him to come out of his comfort zone of looking at intelligence as just about your intellect, because bro, you might bring a business plan and she might blow it out the water. You know what I mean? Or you might bring an idea and she'll be able to turn it around and make it amazing. So you have to look at it from a stretch perspective. But right now he's locked into, you're not my level. And I've rarely met anybody my level. And, in this space, you ain't showing me that just yet. And I think that is something that he needs to work on to be able to open himself up more. But that will come with him being honest also about his actual feelings and his emotions and not trying to lock it down and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's interesting to watch
That will
moves.
come with him feeling safe with her too.
That's true.
Once he feels safe enough to show his emotions, not his intelligence, show his emotions, because I think he is showing his emotions in a different way. I don't know Will, but what it's giving me is very restrained, very put together, very much don't show too much emotions, because then people could read you like a book. Or maybe he wasn't allowed to be exuberant as a child. We just don't know. But it's giving me, I'm only going to show all of myself to someone I trust. And my emotions could be used against me. And that's what I'm not going to do, is, let you see that deep, in whatever form it is. But it's very interesting. They can work. I mean, we got to take our little bit of intelligence and arrogance and whatever it is, pride, and bring it a little bit on the ground floor and say, this is what I want to make work. And then we'll put in the work.
What about Brittany then, in regards to this flip side of the coin? Because we've talked about Will and what he needs to really work on. What about Brittany here? Because of course she's exhibiting her own, I guess, avoidance in this aspect as well. How did you read her in that perspective?
I read Brittany as she needs to be told if her behavior, she needs a performance evaluation right now. She needs it right now. I need you to tell me, is this okay? But she's telling me she's not going to go forth with it. He told her, be natural, be yourself. And she's like, when I am myself is why I only have 3-month relationships. So I don't want to be too much. So she does want to hold his hand. She probably wants to put her hand at the back of his neck. And he's like, do that, because he's looking for something to mirror. And she's like, I can't do that because I don't know if that's something you will enjoy. So as you said, with the intelligence, I think Brittany needs a task list. I need a do's and don'ts list. And at least even if it's a basic list, but he's like, I don't want to restrict you, because if I put something on a list, then you won't be acting like your natural self. He thinks he's doing her a favor by saying no rules, but she's like, I want to know your boundaries. And that is, for me, also exemplary of her, because she's like, I don't want, to unintentionally offend you. But she needs a performance evaluation. She needs that right now. Are you accustomed to holding hands? Basically, tell me what you have not got, what you enjoyed and didn't enjoy in your previous relationships, so that I know how I can move with you in this marriage that I want to succeed. So I see Brittany, and she is trying to tell him that, but I don't think he's ever had that. So it's kind of lost in translation for him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think with Brittany in this scenario as well, with her, they were hinting at it. The edit was hinting at it, right? About the sex aspect. It was hinting at it from very early on, and even at the wedding day, if you notice that they asked about what we're going to do when we go back in the room, and he said, I don't mind just sleeping, and she almost was like, she was like, well, we gonna get some stuff going, right? We gonna get some stuff going. That's basically what she said. And then he was like, well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna be open to it. Again, he's gonna mirror, right? But what I found intriguing about that is that Brittany doesn't know that man. You know what I'm saying to you? And I want people to understand this very clearly. This is not about being promiscuous. This is actually about leading with the wrong thing. So I'm not saying you can't have sex on the first date, but I'm saying to you, because she is somebody who's task oriented and wants to know anything that can offend somebody, this actually should have been the first thing that should have been led first. She should have been spending time and allowing herself just to get to know him first. Just because you know you have that trigger. You know that for you need to understand who this person is and know every little detail about him first. And I saw that and said, for me personally, felt like she was leading with the body first. And I think because that usually captures people. She's a beautiful girl, very
Absolutely
intelligent.
gorgeous.
She is good to look at. I'm gonna lie to you. She is
Stunning.
scrumptious on the ass. My God.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying to you? And you can't reject that. You can't reject the initial proposition.
But also we're married.
That's true.
See,
but you can't go on.
We religious, we've accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. Daddy done said it. We said our vows. We are married. So in her mind, the task is done.
I agree. I agree. But she has a task list, and that's a problem. So you're not coming into this clean. You're coming into it with, you got a bag of triggers. So in that space, if you need to know what's going to work for him, what's not going to work for him, sex on an immediate aspect. And do you know how I know it happened? Because they actually had sex without no condom. That just told me everything I need to know. That this thing it's a passionate energy thing. And I get it, you know, it's a first day and I get you're married and everything like that. But do you want kids now? Because if you don't want kids now, then I'm not saying it's irresponsible. I'm saying to you, it's a passionate plea that uses the body as a way of being able to communicate rather than actually using our emotions to communicate. And so what I'm saying is that it's not that she can't have sex. It's not that she shouldn't be having sex. I'm saying to you that when you come into that space with that kind of baggage, your first thought process should be, let's still get to know each other though. Let me make sure I'm focusing on the things that I need to know to make myself feel secure. Sex is not going to make her feel secure. I'm going to be honest with you now. That's why immediately it didn't have to even be him. It could have been someone else. Right. If they showed any sign of any deviance, should have the same reaction, because that is a trigger for her. But so her focus for me,
she wanted a man that was adventurous in the sheets.
I'm not mad at it. You should.
That's what she asked for, and she got it. She got it, and now he's backing up because he's like, "Oh, you asked for adventure. I'm trying to be adventure, and you can't handle this level of adventure. I got to back up."
But she didn't back up.
She didn't want to, because again, as you said, she wants to keep drawing him in.
Yeah.
And he's like,
because she wants to tie him down.
Yes,
because she's used to time, and I think that when she gave us that information about why relationships last 3 months, I want to tell you the honest truth. The reason why your relationships last 3 months, because you tie people down with the wrong thing. Okay, all right. You're tying them down with your looks, your beauty, your charisma, your body, the ton. You're just tying them down with those things, and then actually, what you should be tying them down with, let me get to really know who you actually are. Let's see if we're compatible, because right now this actually might not be on the same level. But when you're afraid of really being open all the way, what tends to happen is we learn another language. We use our body as a way of doing it, because then it's almost like an invulnerable. We become almost invulnerable in this particular space by using our body rather than actually having an emotional connection with somebody and really getting to grips with who they are and what they're about, and making sure that we know their mind a little bit. Again, the sex could have happened on the third or fourth day. I'm just saying that getting to know him a little bit more, to give yourself that. It's not because it's for you. It wasn't about it's not even about time frame. It was because it was for you personally. You know what I'm saying, Chu? Like, if you had dated previously, it would have been fine. Do you get what I'm saying, Chu? Like, if it was me, and this is a couple of years ago, I would have done what she did, because I also know by doing that, if I get you in that space, then that means you must like me, you must want me, you must desire me. So it's because I've incorrectly assessed the situation to think that people like you because of your physique, your body, your sex, everything like that. That's a type of liking. But where I'm now, I'm like, no. If that was me now going to the altar, I'd wait a couple of days at least. I need to get to know you, understand you a little bit more. I'd put it on the back burner, not because I don't want to do that, but because I really want to get to know you first and see, are we compatible? Because, brother, this is a lifetime. You get me saying to you? So that's what I saw of her. And I think I really understood her in that moment where she felt like he didn't validate her, and he didn't, right? Not in a, I mean, he kind of was a bit cold of it. Let's be honest, he was a bit cold of it, and then that further triggered her because she's like, "Oh, damn! Like, so is he gonna abandon me too?" You know? And so this is another area where I'm like, she is trying and communicate. She's trying to get to him, but this is gonna require some really expertise tools where the expert's gonna have to probably help them and give them some tools to really be able to talk to each other, to make it safe for one another. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Because as much as he was lying there with his head on the pillow, that brother was burning inside, bro. He was burning inside. Do not be fooled by that lying down on the pillow. He was burning inside.
The
Because
louder
that's
she
what his
got,
answer.
the louder she got. It's like when an animal goes into freeze, when it hears a loud sound, the louder she got, it's like more he froze. And then he froze and he's observing and processing. Hey, Precious.
I didn't pressure you out. I'll make it through.
All right. How are you?
That's good. That's good. Sorry, Elsa. Yeah, continue. Sorry, bro. Go for it.
Oh no, I needed a moment too. Yeah, the louder she got, he froze. He froze up, but I want to know where that came from. I want to know because he did distance himself at first. You were correct. He did distance. He did not reassure her. But then when she said, "Hey, I don't want you to pull away," then he's like, "Wait a minute. We are in this for a marriage. This is not disposable. This is not 1 year, 3 month thing. It may be an 8-week thing, but it is not one of your disposable relationships. I'm willing to work on this." He did say it, but I think too, for them, two highly intelligent people, if it ain't from the same, somebody working out of Webster Dictionary and somebody working out of Oxford Dictionary, because they're using words, but it ain't the words each other want to hear. So it ain't computing.
I hear that, indeedy. Yes, Precious. We're talking about Brittany and Will. And we're just kind of just breaking down some of the aspects in terms of the relationship dynamics, first 4 episodes. Feel free to chime in and give us your breakdown as well, how you saw it, and you know what you observed about them.
I mean, is there a chance that he just doesn't like her very much?
Absolutely, there's a chance.
Because I guess that's what I was getting from of like, because to be fair, when she first came on to the screen and when he was on there, I was a bit concerned about whether or not he would find her attractive. Fortunately, that's always a concern. But for what he seemed to say from the first time that they saw each other, it seems like he finds her attractive. At least finds her very pretty. So I guess I was just a bit like, it kind of just went from quite, what's the word, hopeful to very disastrous very quickly. As soon as the whole getting physical thing happened, it was almost like, okay, now, that sex didn't happen. It didn't go anywhere. And now all of a sudden, this is it. We're done. And I guess I was just trying to figure out how it went from 0 to 100 so quickly. Can you guys hear me? Am I not loud enough?
You're loud enough for us. Just some in the chat are saying a little bit louder.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I was just confused at how it went so left so quickly. I know that, yeah, I agree. He didn't give her much reassurance with whatever happened with the sex thing. I think maybe he might have been in a little bit of a shock of whatever her reaction was, might have been very swift, very quick, very extreme, very intense, and he might have just been been in a bit of shock of, oh, okay, so this is not happening, okay, cool, and kind of retreated. Maybe he took it as a rejection of like, being, oh, so, because I know she said, oh, kind of, I want him to reassure me and say, well, we'll figure it out. But if you reacted really, really like intensely, maybe he assumed that the idea of getting pregnant with your baby was like World War III. So for him, he's like, okay, all right, cool. We ain't gonna do that again then. So you just don't know. Like you don't, as kind of going back to what Kojo said, is you don't know this man. You don't know how he interprets things. You don't know what his past experiences has been. So those reactions, you're kind of, I think they're both kind of going in a maze in the dark. They're trying to follow a maze in the dark, and they're not really on the same page. It's interesting what you said about the intelligence, because I guess I'm not really sure about Brittany, because I'm not gonna be honest, I wasn't paying much attention when they were all talking about the things that they do and not do. But I guess with him, even when you look at how he spoke to his friends, in the bit where he was with his friends and he started using big words and all his friends were like clowning him, and he's like, guys, like, come on, did you not do a spelling test? Did you not read in school? It's interesting, that relationship, because I don't know if you guys saw the recent viral clip that went viral of Mark Lamont Hill and Queen's Flip on the Joe Budden podcast, and the conversation of intellectualism that brought up. And of course, that argument between those two men was not about Mark being smart, but it's the idea that, like, you see him in this group of men who are all kind of laughing at him for his extraness of the words that he used, the way that he speaks. It's a bit over the top, and they're kind of laughing at him, but he's kind of trying to back with a bit of arrogance and a bit of condescending tones. But they're kind of like, my guy, what do you want us to say? So it's interesting that that's the dynamic that he has with his friends. And it will be interesting to see where that comes from, because I don't know if that's that level of, I call it double speak, where people use intricate words, complex words, a lot of jargon to make a simple thing sound more complex, more intelligent than it actually is. And what that tends to be is a way to deflect from actually having to tap into anything deeper, or to analyze or reflect or say or be more emotional. And actually, when I'm thinking about what you were saying, Kojo, about, oh, he's seen somebody that's on his same page, actually, I might disagree with that. Of maybe he's seen someone that is actually more emotionally intelligent, intuitive, able to really break things down and analyze. And maybe he feels out of his depth. And then that's when comes in that sort of using those really jargony words to try and throw someone off, so that we don't have to have this conversation. I don't want to sit here and have this conversation about what my love language is, because I don't know what you're talking about. You're telling me physical touch, quality time. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to figure out where we're going with this. All of this stuff that you're doing is too complex for me, not intellectually, but just emotionally, having to really invest. Because if I start talking about those things, that means being vulnerable, that means investing in you, and that's time and emotions. That means that I have to then start unpacking things that are deep. So I think it's like a defense mechanism of, I'm shutting this down right now because we don't need to go that far. So and that's not to say Brittany's innocent. I think yeah, Brittany comes across quite anxious in a lot of ways, because I understand her. I'm the same of, like, I like to know what my boundaries are. I like to know where the parameters are, because then I can figure out, how I'm gonna move. So, but if you're like, oh no, just be yourself, okay, be myself. But then if you have an issue with it, don't come to me about it. Don't cry to me. Don't cry for me, Argentina, because I asked you what the boundaries were. You didn't say nothing. So I think there's a balance of, you should be yourself. But yes, if somebody's asking you, give me the boundaries, that's because that is a respectful thing to do. It's a good way to start conversations about what makes you feel safe, what doesn't make you feel safe. And if you're not comfortable enough to answer those questions, that usually is where that backlash comes in a little bit,
Well, Precious, sometimes if you tell someone, people don't want to tell someone how to behave. That's the balance they're trying to find.
I guess for me, the way I'm thinking about it is, it's not necessarily behave, because it's kind of like when you tell somebody, I don't like X, it's then down to that person to decide if that is something that's a deal breaker for them or not. So if you're like, okay, cool, as a man, I don't like it if my woman dresses a certain type of way. It's then down to that woman to decide if this is something that is a deal breaker for her, if this is something that's important to her. Because the man can make a decision that, okay, cool, if my girlfriend wears something and I don't feel comfortable with it, I can speak up and I can say something. That could be how you manage your boundaries. But that decision to do whatever that person is doing is still down to that person. I can still decide I want to dress the way I want to dress or do what I want to do. If you decide that, okay, it's not for you, then fine. But at least I'm going into it informed rather than walking on a minefield and finding out right
See,
in
that's
the middle of
interesting.
everything.
You see it as a minefield. I see it as a
Yeah.
blank canvas that I can paint it however I want.
Hmm.
You know, I can see where you're saying that. I can see their different perspectives. Like, I don't, you know,
Yeah.
I also see Will is hyper aware of where the cameras are. Did you see him? He always
Yeah.
has a flash into a camera. And I'm like, he's also hyper aware that he doesn't
Yeah.
want himself to be edited to be controlling.
No. But I don't even think he can even get to that point because he's not giving her anything. Forget controlling. He's not even giving her simple, I like physical touch. I like quality time. There's nothing.
Because he's going to get into weeds. He's going to get into weeds of what kind of touch. Do you touch your hand, touch the back of your neck?
Yeah.
He's going to go further on. She's asking for some simple things and he's going to go on. But I do agree with you with the vocabulary. I said it's nervousness when he wants to stop, you know, the conversation or to stop an emotional direction. I think that, you know, he's going to use his, you know, larger form words. But I remember what you're saying, the viral moment, and to just paraphrase it for those of you who may not have seen it, it's like basically what Mark Lamont Hill was telling the other guy is, you know, I don't use big words. I just use words that are big to you. And that was the bell that was heard around the internet, but he didn't use big. Okay. I'm just paraphrasing y'all.
Yeah, he said tricky.
Yeah. Tricky words. It's words that are tricky to you. Basically, your mind can't even run a half a lap the way my mind can. But again, you know, I don't think Will is taking the time to learn much about her intelligence. And the chat is talking about the meet the parents.
That was an absolute car crash. The entire time I was watching that, I was like, Will, stop talking. Just it's okay. You don't need to continue.
He can't stop. He's nervous. That's why he went into what he knows, the history of faith, the history of religion. He was so nervous, caught off guard, didn't know what to do, where to go. Oh my word, I am crashing and burning in this. So I got to dig deep. What do I know? The history of religion. I studied it. And dude, read the room.
Yeah, it was. But then I don't even know if it's just him. Maybe it's a level of arrogance of because he clearly isn't in line with the whole religion thing, and I think he saw how important it was for them, and he saw where they were going with it. That I think even when Brittany's dad was just trying to say, "Hey, look, just say that you believe in God, and I will take it." That man was really trying to say, "Look, just say that you believe in God, and I will take it." Will was like, "Nope."
No, do you know what your God has done throughout history? I was like, dude.
When he started talking about the Crusades, I was like, you remember that you are in America, right? Like, this is not, American history is not aligned with this.
He was like, no, I don't. And this is why. He got caught.
My jaw just dropped. I was like, oh my God, stop talking.
It was tough for the boy. So, but yeah, listen, we gonna move it on. So I know we really broke them down, and it was a good breakdown as well of Brittany and Will. Let's talk about another couple. And you know, I think we'll talk about obviously Rhonda and Pat, because they managed to patch things up by episode 4. But they were quite an interesting couple. Again, one of the new elder, so I shouldn't say elder, but you know, the older couple of the show as well. So let's look at them as well. And I wish my laptop would stop playing this stupid game with me. Hold on. My laptop's playing this silly game with me right now. Let me just do this. Okay. See if I can get a clip for you guys. Oh, no, that's not gonna work.
I would probably watch more
There we go. Okay.
with you now. But I love a good rom-com.
Oh,
I
like
love
those
action
too.
movies.
You didn't mention science fiction. I thought that would be right at the top.
No.
Okay, Pat and Rhonda. Sorry, don't put you guys back into the other thing. Sorry about that. Apologies. My computer wants to play nice. Okay. What is my system doing? What is going on, bro? I have no clue what's going on here. I am so sorry, guys. I'm trying to get you back to normal work. It's not allowing me to do it. Okay, it will change back in a second or two, I'm sure. But Pat and Rhonda, they, you know, they were an interesting couple. She corrected him as well. You know, I think she did quite well, actually. She wasn't rude about it. And just let him know, you know, and he took it on very well as well. He also, you know, adjusted quite well as well. So it's looking good. The first 4 episodes, it does look good with Pat and Rhonda. Of course, there are things that they can work on, but it does look good for them at the moment, at least from my perspective. How did you ladies perceive Pat and Rhonda? How did you see this couple here? Why are you laughing?
Go ahead, Precious. I was here first with Will and Brittany. Go ahead.
No, I think they're cute. Like, I don't know. I honestly thought they would have been fine, but I guess my head is just so concerned with the previews, and it seems like it goes really goes left for them. But you know, the way that
Wait.
she brought up
Precious,
Yes.
It sounds like you're in a fishbowl.
Can you not? Okay, what about now? Is it better?
Well, I don't know. We can hear you, but it sounds like you're in a
Okay.
fishbowl.
No.
Is it those headphones that you got on again? Whatever
well,
that team with headphones you got on, I need you to release it.
These are JBL.
I knew it was going to be JBL. It's TikTok shop. I need you to release it.
JBL is a really.
Let it go. Because what's happening?
because-
No. Do you know what it is? Your headphones are fine, but your mic, are you mic? Is that mic as well for you? Is that also
Maybe,
mic
yeah.
and headphones? Yeah, it's like my headphones. They're not
Okay,
great
hold
for
on.
mic. It's great for listening, but we can't. So what you do is change the setting on your thing from being your headphones, the mic part of it, change it to your laptop.
Is this better?
Oh, it sounds like you at a traffic light stop. I don't know what's going on. Hey, reduce them headphones, bro. Take them off because they are ruining your experience.
Okay, hold on.
Losing
Wait.
all wisdom. JBL gonna have you in a chokehold. You just need to have the laptop sound, and you're gonna be fine.
Because the reason I put the headphones in, because last time when you guys were like, so much feedback.
You know what? Put it back on. You know what? Put them back on. Put it back
What?
on. Put it back on right now. Put it back on. I'm sorry. I'm my bad. I apologize. Put it back on. We'll just deal with the fishbowl. We'll deal with the fishbowl. Put it back on. I went behind you. Put it back on. I'm sorry. Put it back on. I apologize. Sometimes you need to accept that it is what it is.
Okay, wait.
I'm sorry.
Elsa, you go first. Let me sort this out, please.
Let me see. Actually, let me see if I can. Actually, wait. Let me see. Hold on. Wait, Precious, come back quickly. Let me just see something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reduce your background sound. Let me see if I can edit it. So
I'm gonna see if I can just use my other headphones. Give me 1 sec. That might be better. Hold on.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, go and get them other headphones. Because maybe it wasn't good on either end. It was bad. It was bad with and bad without. It got worse when it was without. I started hearing whizzing. I said, oh no. Take it. You know when you just complain? Stop complaining. Look at like it as it was.
Oh my word! You went from the fishbowl to the ocean.
Yeah. It got worse. I said, my bad.
Oh gosh, I'm glad you have the names up there because I forgot who we talking about.
Pat Rhonda, yeah, sorry. Oh man.
I think Pat found someone who's going to give him permission to be as adventurous as he wanted. He talked about he stayed in his first marriage till the kids were grown, and then he moved on with his life. It is commendable. He is retired. He's a retired, I believe, aerospace engineer. So, him, packing up his life to go move where his mother is and move with her to help take care of her, I think is quite commendable. It is not the 30-year-old who living at their mama's house. Okay. We will give him that. Definitely he is. The only thing that annoys me about, but I ain't his wife, is everything is related to air traffic and, everything ain't got to be going to the moon and stars. But she did communicate well with him. I just wonder, because she kind of say, Pat, you talking about yourself too much. Stop. And I wonder if Pat also would like to connect and he would like to interject his story time there. We need to find a balance. We need to find a little bit of a balance. And what she's seeing is that, listen, I've been listening. I told you I was robbed. I was robbed. And all you got to say is, oh, that brie looks good. Let me get a dip of that. It's like, dude, can you not have an actual response to that? So I think she handled him very well, very gently. But here's my question. Is she going to be leading this marriage the entire time? She had him jump in the pool. They're sitting in the hot tub. Everything is like she's leading and Pat is like, yeah, let's go. I mean, what do we, nothing wrong with it if that's what Pat wants, definitely go forth and conquer. But it's like everything is like she's like, let's go do this, let's go do that. And now he's like, yeah, sure. He's sharing his stories, but I guess he's not sharing what he wants to do. But what they're going to do with his mom, I saw it in the chat. He did tell her his responsibility is his mother. And, she kind of was hesitant to say his, her age when she realized she was only about 3 or 4 years older than him. I hope she's not, taking that to heart too much. But Rhonda is very self-aware and she's not afraid to say when something may be wrong. Because she said, hey, squeeze me, I forgot your name and we married. I gotta confess, I forgot your name. Please, this is what you get at 63. Rhonda, I do like her personality, and I wonder if it'll be too exuberant for Pat, or if Pat is just following. But I see, unfortunately, I see a crash out with Rhonda, on the horizon. I just see it because Pat has, at that age, and excuse me for anybody who is over 50 in the audience. At their age, some things are habitual and set in your ways. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be hard for you to course correct and for the correction to stay. It may be a little bit of bumps in the road. I hope she is open to Pat, having a little bump in the road and bringing him back to on course. Okay. But, Houston, we have liftoff with these two.
Go for it, Precious.
Is it better now?
Yeah, you know what? We'll take that.
Oh my God.
I'll be bin those JBL headphones.
But is it good or is it just okay?
No, actually, it's actually good. Yeah, we hear you very well. Yeah.
Thank you. No, I agree. I think I like the way that Rhonda addressed her feeling that Pat wasn't saying much to her or asking of her much. I think part of it might just be maybe he's a bit nervous. And I think the way that he relates to people is to share his own experiences and to say, oh, that happened to me too. And he might also be neurodivergent because neurodivergent people tend to relate in that way of like you say something like, oh, this happened, and then this happens, and then they say, oh, well, yeah, it happened to me too. Let me tell you what happened to me. And it's not to disregard you or to, it's just how they know to relate to you and how they know to make sure that you feel like they've understood what you're saying. But it's also good that, yeah, she was able to mention that and he took that quite well. I mean, he was a bit defensive at first, but I think after she explained it and she also focused more on the emotion of it and how it was making her feel, I think he was able to take it into consideration, um, and yeah, and make sense of it. But when it was happening, I was thinking in my head, I was like, I wonder if he has ADHD. Like that's a very ADHD type thing to do. But who knows? Um, but yeah, I think also as you mentioned, Elsa, because of the fact that he was able to stay in a marriage that he didn't want to be in for so long, I do sometimes worry that maybe he might go along to get along, um, and he might, not be able to say what his wants and needs are, and maybe that also is fueling why he was so in the beginning trying to say, this is me, this is me, this is what just to get used to being able to do that. And then as soon as she kind of jumps in and goes, well, that's wrong, it's like, oh, okay. So it will be interesting to see how he's able to maintain his own boundaries, and to advocate for himself as the relationship goes on. Because she's very intense. She's very much life of the party, but you can kind of like what her son said, it can sometimes be her way or the highway. So that's going to prove to be an issue if he seems to be more of a passive person. He's more introverted as well. She's much more extroverted, and I think that's another issue I have is, extroverted people should really be, they should really be matching extroverted people with ambiverts rather than introverts, because with introverts and extroverts, it can work, but that needs time. You need consistent, inch by inch, getting to know that person so that the extrovert can mellow out and the introvert can perk up and they can meet in the middle. But when you're throwing two very opposite people together in this kind of environment, it's going to clash very quickly, very intensely. Um, and I mean, I guess it's easier if the woman is an extrovert and the man is an introvert, but it just depends on how much the man is willing to be able to be honest about how he's feeling. That can make it work and hold that boundary. If he's passive as well, it's going to be very tough. So yeah, we'll see. Older people are, as Elsa said, they're much more stuck in their ways. They're less likely to want to change and adjust because they've lived the majority of their life in this way, so it's harder. But I also think it's cute that they're adding older people. I think it's nice. They saw the Golden Bachelor and they were like, let's get into that money. Let's tap into that money.
Or did you watch Love is Blind Brazil? This past season
No.
was over 50 and they are wild.
Oh,
Absolutely
I can
wild.
imagine. Oh yeah.
One guy tried to steal another man's fiance at the vacation.
Yeah, because they've got nothing to lose. They've got nothing to lose. There's
Asked,
no risk of pregnancy. There's no,
he asked her out to lunch. He's like, "Would you like to go out with me?" Like, wait a minute. That was
it's like
fun.
the UK maths.
Yeah, Brazil was very, very fun. It taught me that the ones who are senior may, be a little bit wild too. And they have certainly provided that to us with Rhonda and with Pat. I
Yeah.
wonder.
They had sex on the first night, and I was like, my girl, just like,
You only live once, and at their age, it's like, what am I waiting for?
and she made it sound like they had a wild night. I was like, girl,
But
I love that for you.
Precious, she also said she had 4 babies in 9 years.
Yeah.
Mm.
She She stay enjoying herself. So
There you go. There you go. But she won't kiss and tell. She'll giggle, but she won't kiss and tell. But hey, she had to raise 3 sons and a daughter. You know, she has to be the disciplinarian, mom, dad. She said the husband, didn't hold down the job. She didn't care what kind of job it was. But I'm wondering if now that the kids are grown and out of the house, she is finding her second youth. And
yeah, no, definitely.
yeah, but the kids said she's wild. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, she comes across as very wild, very much wild,
And
and very like.
her previous marriage was only 18 months.
He's probably younger as well.
Mm.
I can imagine he was probably younger. Maybe that's where the whole him being younger than her, even though it's only 4 years, we know that deep. But it hit her when she had 59. She was like, oh, and I was like, it's not that deep. It's 4 years.
Right. Y'all are in the same phase of life. Retired.
Yeah.
You're ready to enjoy life with a partner, not of your choosing, but certainly you can make it work.
Yeah.
I love
she seems very attracted to him.
Oh, they were slobbering each other down at the altar, and he went back for a second round. Come on now. Pat is like, oh.
She's like, my husband is some hot stuff. I was like, girl, what? Like, I love that for you.
Right in front of his mama, okay? His 83-year-old mama.
Oh my God, yeah. So yeah, that's my opinion of Pat and Rhonda. I wish them well. We'll see what happens because the previews are not looking good, but so far they seem to be doing well.
I'll definitely hear you on that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hear you on that. Okay. Let's look at another couple. Obviously, the other faithful couple also here is with Chad and Belinda. I can't lie to you. This is gonna crash and burn or go really, really well. From my perspective anyway. I like Chad and Belinda. I think they're pretty cool. I just think to myself that he likes to save people, and she also is someone who has been through some rough relationships, i.e. the marriage that she was into with Jaylen's dad, full of infidelity, full of him cheating and stuff. And I wonder how she'll deal with being the fact that she was 19 and then getting into a marriage for how many was it, 20 years almost, and then obviously then finding her own kind of identity. I wonder how she deals with that in essence, but I guess we'll find out. So let me play a little bit of a clip if I can find one on this episode. Okay, his computer will allow me. Boy, if you don't, there we go.
It's like going too fast.
Sorry.
What's up, Chad?
Here we go.
I feel like they've been smitten since the day that they were at the altar. It's so different to see her as a married woman versus just seeing her as the young girl that, I raised. And I think one of the things she and I both talked about was making sure we have our heart open, to accept the love that's given to us, because sometimes that's hard. And so it's not.
So obviously Belinda, Chad is self-confessed save 'em all, and Belinda is, I can't pick him right. So want to get your thoughts on this situation. How are we reading Chad past Belinda? How are we reading that situation here? Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because I guess I don't want to be like judging books by their cover, but when I first saw Chad, I was like, oh, he seems a bit exactly. He seems a bit Margarish, and I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna go down. I don't know how well this is gonna be, but he seems nice. But I don't know. I feel like something is just gonna be a bit off with them too. I think the idea, he's a military man. He seems to be very kind of like it's interesting because he's an industry man, but he's got a lot of those like dry jokes at the top. And you think it would be the other way around of like him being very stoic, very serious, very focused because of his history of being in the military. But and that's how he comes across. He comes across as quite a serious person, but then he makes all these jokes, and sometimes it just feels like it's like a fight. It's like a barrage of them. It's like a semi-automatic rifle. It's just going, going, and going. Just like it's okay. Let's just chill for a bit. Let's relax. Um, and it's interesting when he's saying, you know, he wants to protect people, he wants to save people. And I'm like, well, what are you saving people from? What is it that you're looking for? What is it you were looking for in these ex marriages? You know, for being married 4 times is a lot. It's a lot of marriages, a lot of divorces. That's a lot. So I just think, I don't know, I feel like it will come out somewhere, whether it's political beliefs, whether it's like how he's managing compromise. He doesn't seem like somebody that would compromise very well. And Belinda seems, you know, to be inwardly going in quite nice, being quite accommodating. But I can imagine that another side to her is going to come out eventually, where it's like, okay, now you're annoying me, or now this is becoming a bit too much, or we need to figure this out. And he's going to push back. He's going to be very much like, no, we're not doing that. Um, and I guess it'll be interesting to see how the cultures work. You know, the people from 2 different cultures, although there isn't necessarily like an immediate outward difference of looking at them, but they're from different cultures, so it'll be interesting to see how he maneuvers. It'll be interesting to see how he maneuvers with her ex-husband because he seems very involved in her life and with the kids. So I can imagine there might be some boundaries being crossed with the ex-husband there as well. But I don't know, we'll see. They've already crossed the physical threshold of having sex. So, and it seems like that's okay. That's gone well. They seem to be attracted to each other. Um, yeah, I guess time will tell. It'll be interesting. I can foresee some arguments coming. I can definitely foresee them, but we'll see. We'll see.
Precious, stay 10 toes down in your assessment. Your assessment is correct. It started with, which last name are we going to take? Because I can't take yours because I don't look like one. I was like, dude, are we serious? Are we serious? You can't take my last name because you don't look like if you Latino? Dude, that's when I clutched my pearls and I said, no, Chad, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. This ain't going to work at all. Plus, he is a bit insecure. We understand that. I liked his banter with his daughter. That gave me hope. He's like, hey, what are you doing today? You got any plans? She's like, well, I'll see if I can make your wedding. Great banter as a girl dad. Okay. Whether, whatever happened with the ex-wife or whatever, he had a great relationship with his daughter. His sisters too said, hey, you got to chip away at the ice around his heart. But Precious, he a senior man. I need to know how long those marriages were. You go and find multiple marriages at this age and stage. It ain't gonna be Pat. We've been together for this is his 4th, so he's had 3 before. Okay, maybe he got married young, and then he got married in 20s, 30s, and 40s. He now 50. Let's round it out. Every decade we got to be married. Okay, we can't cross this decade and we ain't married. He collecting those wedding rings like gemstones. He is the Thanos of this season. Okay. So he is, he leads with his wallet. When he said he's Captain Save a what? He is saving them with his money. Because he went and hijacked the car before they even got to the airport, before they got packing, and said, hey, let's go. Change these rings. And, I'm sorry. I'm sure he paid for his too. I don't know. I need to see the receipt. But he did that. And I wonder if that pressured Josh in order to upgrade that ring. Because Josh, that's Josh's new papa, as he said. And so you can't have mama out here and telling her daughter, like, he didn't get you a ring? He didn't get you a new ring? Yeah, we can't have that. But yes, he does lead with his humor. He does cover up, I should say, with his humor. And I wonder what's really beneath all of that. Who is Chad? And when they went out shopping, I'm glad Belinda spoke up. She's like, hey, I am not here to spend your money. I'm here for you. And he said a good game. If I thought that you were here to just spend my money, I wouldn't be spending it. That's a good game, Chad. But we know. You were, throwing out the cash, telling her you could spend up to X amount of dollars at the store. We know that's what you were doing. But she wants his romantic side, and I wonder if he has that. And the romantic side requires no money. What did she say? Could we dance together? Could we just dance? So we shall see if he can, present himself to her without the wallet. Now, Belinda, I like that she can speak up for herself. She's telling them, hey, you've done this twice already. Let's pull back on the wallet. Let's pull back on the spending. Let us spend quality time. I like the fact that she could speak up. She's kind of, she's like Pat. She could speak up without him getting defensive or feel like it's negative, daggers at him. So, I'm only saying papa because Chad said he's his new papa. That's why I said it. So Josh got 3 new dads in this whole show. Okay. Got 3 new dads. But we ain't talking about them yet. But Chad definitely, I think with Belinda not needing to be saved, I wonder if he's going to wonder, like, why am I here? What am I doing? How can I fulfill, this marriage? That's what I will be interested with Chad. That definitely there. But his sisters were wonderful. At least that was a family that was, hey, you got to chip away at him. They gave her some great, nice advice. And only because of the previews, I got no hope for them. Only because of the previews. I don't even know if we're making it to decision day. I don't know. But she told him, hey, put your wallet away. Let's not do that anymore. And let's just enjoy time together. Kojo?
Well, with Chad and Belinda, I've said a lot about them already, so I'll keep it short. I just hope that, he doesn't bob the builder. You know what I mean? And, I know she got her own trust issues. So, I wonder how they're going to play out I don't think he's going to do anything stupid, but I think, perceived slights are usually what happens in relationships, right? I perceive that this is a slight against me, or I perceive this is something that's been said to me. Do you get what I mean? So how will they deal with that if she rejects his, need to try and bob the builder her? And how will she deal with him maybe pulling away or doing too much and overexerting himself trying to be a boulder builder? How will she deal with that? Do you know what I mean? So I'm intrigued. Right now, I haven't seen any cracks like that, major cracks, like craziness. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where you're like, it's probably coming, because when someone tells me that they could, they know how to be an asshole, it's just a setup for the KO. You know what I mean? It's set up for a KO. It was so I don't understand why they had to add that in. That I said, well, the reason why they're adding it is because he's probably going to be an asshole. You know what I mean? And that's probably why he's on his 4th marriage. He's an asshole, and he doesn't realize that. And he covers it up with being, I'm always here to save people. No, you're an asshole. And you probably need to stop covering up with you making jokes and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's probably coming. We'll see, but we'll see about them soon. Okay, Josh and this is another one, Josh and Jaylen, because I find this one interesting because right now they seem like a really good couple. There is a good vibe, good chemistry. They seem to be on the same wavelength. They went on their they've been going on a few different dates and stuff like that. And they seem to be in good stead. They seem like they're on the same kind of vibe, and he obviously bought her a nice little ring as well. You know what I'm saying? She said, listen, let me Let me upgrade you, he said. You know what I mean? He said, let me upgrade you. And shout out as he did, you know? We can never hate on that. So I respect the fact that he did that. But let me play a little clip if I can get this thing to work. If it wants to play with me. Oh my gosh.
I love
Look, I'm being... My sister wants to play. Okay, we ain't gonna get a clip because they're gonna mess around. Josh and Jaylen. I was trying to do it and I'm moving mad. What's your thoughts on Josh and Jaylen? How you see them in that space as well? Okay, I'll change them. Thank you. How do we see this couple? Because again, like I said, they are seemingly on good vibes. And so how are you seeing them? What are we seeing from these two? Presh? I'll sit.
Yeah, I mean they seem to be doing pretty well off the gate. It was interesting the conversation about the post nut. Um, her reaction to him asking for a post nut was interesting because she kind of froze and then she went on this really long tirade about wanting to be, having her own financial independence, not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom, all of this stuff. And I was like, girl, you could have just said, no, that's fine, it's okay. You didn't have to go on this whole speech. And then later on said, oh, but this is a conversation that we can continue having. And I'm like, why? It's either a yes or a no. What else? What other part of the conversation do you need to have? So she's clearly not all the way happy with that. And then him buying that ring after that conversation was, I don't know if that was the smartest thing for him to have done, but it's cool. Um, but he seems so hook, line, and sinker, kind of like down to do this with her. And although she is giving some indication that she likes him, she's very much more aloof and detached than he is, I think. And it's now looking like he just likes her more than she likes him. Um, and I'm worried and I'm concerned. I'm concerned how that's going to play out as the time goes on. Um, because I think she's now complacent because it's clear that he is very much completely happy with this whole situation. Clearly, probably finds her very attractive, thinks that she's nice enough, and that's enough for him to get. And obviously, he really wants to be married, and I think he's very much in it. But yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about whether or not she's going to be able to meet him where he's at emotionally. Like he was already saying to the guys that he's close to saying I love you, and I know she mentioned it too, but there was a difference between how he said it and how she said it. So I just think that's going to be potentially a problem. And I think because she's not as involved, she's going to be a bit more nitpicky for him. There's probably going to be more things she's going to bring up and saying, I have an issue with this, I have an issue with this, I need to be more like this. So it's going to be, yeah, that's my only concern is that she might become quite critical and nitpicky because she becomes complacent and comfortable in the relationship. Um, and he seems like somebody that might just take it and take it and take it and take it and not say much until you then get to the couple of weeks before decision day and it's, oh, don't think this is going to work. And she's like, wait, what? And then all decision day comes up and then he's like, don't think it's going to work. All that kind of thing. So yeah, it'll be interesting though. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
My concern with Josh is the family dynamic. The way he said his mama can never be involved in his future family. Yes, grandma raised him and he loves his grandma all. Grandma was there. He learned his new dad and he's navigating that relationship. He also gained 2 father-in-laws, one that's going to be on the show with him. I think and I hope the way he talks is like he has his idea and ideal of a family. And if it does not play out in his, mindset or fairy tale, I'm not going to say too much fairy tale, but in his mind's eye, how it's supposed to be is how I'm like, I'm concerned. That's where I'm concerned. I'm wondering if, what his thoughts on what a family should be. and his ideal for it. And does she meet that? Does her family meet that? He wants to, welcome as much family as he can because of, how he was raised without his dad, and his dad didn't even know he existed. So I understand that, but it can get overwhelming. Overwhelming. You just met your bride. You met her mama. She gonna be on this show. The mama also got married. Bring another dad into the mix, or papa, as Chad wants him to be called. It is a lot of change so quickly. Now with the postnump, the show asked, everybody, the show does a prenup regularly. I'd like to know why we need a postnump. Or is it that his, business, assets couldn't be included in the show's prenup? Or maybe we intentionally did it like this, so you have to ask your bride, so we have something to film. I mean, production ain't slick. Production ain't slick. But I'm glad that he did rise up and say, hey, my business partner's wife, she had to sign it too. It's not just you. But I would expect anyone with any business or any assets in the show that's marrying a stranger to have that in place. I wouldn't be mad at it at all, whether you have the $500,000 business or you have, just your car and your house or whatever. You have assets to protect. For Jaylen, she's the only girl around her brothers. I hope she don't handle him like she handled her brothers. You saw how she handled her brothers. I hope she don't handle him like that. But definitely I commend her for being open to going and doing the outdoor activities with him. And she does say, I wasn't going to like it at first, but I do like it. Only thing I gotta say, Jaylen, stay away from that Burning Man. Okay? Stay away from that Burning Man concert out in the desert where they camp out and they have to use outhouses. Okay? Stay away from that. Let him go. Help him pack. And honey, I will see you in about 4 days when you get back. Don't go. And Josh, don't make her have to go. Don't make her have to go. But I just hope his ideal does not, derail what they could have. They have great possibilities. They're communicating, they're talking, but he's enamored, she's enamored, and I wonder what's going to happen when those rose-colored glasses come off. What happens? Because I feel for Josh. This is a pressure cooker situation for him. He's got twin sisters on his daddy's side. He got brothers now that his wife is bringing in. That's a lot of stimulus and a lot of family just coming at you at one time. And, he can, navigate well through it, but I'm hoping he has the help that he needs, that he could absorb this, because he has boundaries with his new dad. So I'm hopeful that he has the boundaries for, new family and stuff like that. But they possibly could work, but we know what them previews are saying.
Yeah, it's a tough one there, on both sides. I think it's tough for old boy because, I think he's involved with I think it's tough for him because obviously, I think he cares about her immediately because, he wants to love and be loved, and she's been game for everything. You know what I mean? I've never been to the Burning Sands. If that's what she do, if she's willing to go, you know what I mean? If she's willing to go and see the Burning Sands, why not? You know what I mean? A couple that goes to the sands to burn stays together. They say. But no, jokes aside, I think. Like I said, my assessment of those two was obviously waiting to see what happens if something feels like rejection. And so far it hasn't happened yet, but just to see how he deals with it, to see how healed he actually is. I have hope for him because he seems like an emotionally, at least intelligent, somewhat person, or at least emotionally aware. He might be a little bit sensitive, and that may trigger her too, right? Because of course, having a situation where you have her parents, well, they split way later on, but having maybe a dad who's cheating on the mom all the time, how emotionally adept was he? You know what I mean? Because right now we're seeing her being very like, she's open, she's this, she's that. I'm like, yeah, but after the mom told the story, I was like, oh wait, So it wasn't just a split. Your dad was cheating on your mom, up and down, left, right, and center. Yeah. You're gonna develop some avoidance tactics as well. So maybe you're chameleon. Maybe you kind of, I don't want to say chameleon. You're putting your best foot forward, and we haven't seen you when you feel most vulnerable just yet. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Maybe we have to wait for those moments. You know, what happens when he takes a decision that she don't like? What happens if, you know, he don't text back in time, and, you know, is there triggers from thinking that maybe he's going to abandon or even betray her? You know, does she have a hypervigilance for that? We don't know yet. These are all things that are possibilities. Not saying they're actually going to happen, but they're possibilities of things that may come up and will need to be worked through. The key thing is whether they both have the tools to work through conflict when both of them feel like they're being triggered on a major level, on that aspect again. And that's like most couples, like most people, if you haven't worked through any of your actual wounds, those are things that are going to come up later on in a relationship, and you're going to have to work through it as well. So I think I see both. You know, I think, you know, it's going to be intriguing to see. Will she pull back? Will she, you know, lash out? Will she say, oh, we don't know yet? And I think that is, we saw some previews. It basically told her not to roll her eyes. When I was like, oh, snap. You know what I mean? I hear it. It's just the way he said it. I said, oh, snap. I don't know if that's going to go down well. Yeah, probably. You know, maybe there was something else that happened before that. That's why. But yeah, it definitely was going to be some carnage in the next few episodes as well. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But yeah, it's a lot that what's going on with that situation. Okay. Yes, do you want to say something, Precious? Go for it.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. It's just, yeah, that scene was funny to me. I was like, wow, she really does not care about this man. She did not care about this man one little bit.
She said, oh, brother. Yeah. And as of that, once they start doing that, I said, yeah, she probably got another side to her, and he gonna witness it. How would he handle it? So it's going to be interesting in the next few episodes to see how that plays a role as well, because he's invested quite a bit now, financially, emotionally. That does feel like can be very painful when someone denies you in that way, or you feel like they're denying you in that way. So we'll see how they play. Okay, last couple. You know, the last couple, they say the best to last, but Derek and Megan, their situation. We've got night terrors, which first and foremost, brother tried to tell us, no, it's only once or twice. Broski, if you don't cut the crap, it seems like the first night you having a night terror. Yeah, this is regular. This is regular, and I don't know if you saw a therapist. I think it's regular. I know he said it because once you start telling me, I don't know if it's regular because, you know, actually, I don't usually have people sleeping next to me. So that told me what I need to know. Brother, you know you downplaying it. Okay? All right? So you know you downplaying it. You know that there's night terrors that you're having regularly, sir. Okay? And that's a lot for anybody personally. I can't lie to you. If I found somebody who had those night terrors, I'm already starting to plot my journey out. I can't lie to you. I'm already starting. Yeah, I know it sounds extreme, but I'm already thinking to myself, I don't know if I can handle this, because you wake up in the middle of the night. Like, hey, I need to sleep. You know what I mean? I'm already thinking, do I need to sleep in another room? Do I need to get another house for you? Because again, it's not what I envisaged for my life. And because I know that it's not an instant fix. It's not like if someone has insomnia, it's slightly different. You know what I mean? Like they're not sleeping. You know what I'm saying to you, right? There are things that can be done to help you ease into that place as well, right? Maybe because I've had a bit more of experience with that with people with insomnia. You can kind of like, there's some things that need to be helped. And usually people have insomnia because there's some key things that can happen that people need to kind of work through, which isn't as difficult. But this guy said he has night terrors. Okay, all right, which means he's reliving some in the dream world. Okay, and then he's waking up with a you don't know how that I don't know how I got two of them telling to me before I'm like, all right, pack it up, and I'm out. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not a good enough person for this, and I've got to get out. But hey, that's not obviously the only issue. Megan shuts down a lot as well. I want to know what's your thoughts on that as well. Someone said that's how I feel about people snoring. Don't worry. When I sleep on my front, you ain't gonna hear nothing from me. But I sleep my back, you're gonna hear some noises. Okay, so yeah. Just turn me over like a pancake. All right, cool. What's your guys' thoughts and ladies' thoughts on Derek and Megan night terrors versus shutdowns? What we saying? What's wrong with you two?
I'm just laughing because Precious is just dying here laughing at your scream.
It's a tough battle.
Well, let me speak up for Derek, okay? 2 R's, Kojo. 2 R's in his Derek. Yeah. What he had a very stressful day though. And he's sleeping next to a stranger. And he had a cold plunge, that I thought with her was diabolical to give to her future husband. Okay. We know what happens to anatomy when it hits cold water. I thought that was diabolical. Okay. I'm sorry, Precious. I'm gonna make you laugh. That was diabolical. Okay. Yeah. It was too much. Way too much. But let's just say that Derek's night terrors, he said his daddy has it. Yeah. This is going to be a habit. And then he didn't even know it happened. She had to tell him. She had to tell him it happened, and he screamed and went right back to sleep. No. You can't just come up screaming and wake me up, and then I got to put myself back to sleep. Oh no, not happening. But she's enamored of him. Megan certainly is, how can I say it? Megan is, to me, vanilla. Very vanilla. Very vanilla. She may think she's a little bit spicy, but that whole country music thing, she kind of started writing him off her list. But she wants to keep things surface level, but she loves his abs. I think she's a lot like her mom. As she said, everybody's in the family business, and it seems like she has no way of being released from the family business. She went into real estate and she still has the family business. But what got to me is, how is she standing at the altar like that? When she got up there and her hands on her hip, I was like, Megan, this is not the softball league. This is your wedding. Can we have some posture? And when I thought he didn't like her, I thought Derek didn't like her at all. Because when they kissed at the altar, he backed all the way up. He almost shoved her away from him. So at first, I'm not buying if he is really attracted to her, but he is trying. He is certainly trying. The fact that he can't talk to her and course correct, I wonder if she's thinking like her family may have told her that course correcting, how they told her about her behavior may be something that she's triggered by. But she doesn't want anybody to find fault. Because remember what they both said. They both said they're perfectionists in their work life. I wonder if they're perfectionists in their regular life. And if they're perfectionists, you have just found me not to be perfect. Yeah, that's going to hit hard. Not only that, I just fell off the waveboard, so I'm already testy. And you just decided to jump in the ocean because you didn't want me to feel some kind of way, but you didn't really fall. You're Mr. Perfect. And I'm showing that I'm not. That's rubbing her the wrong way. That is rubbing her the wrong way. I don't know how she felt ambushed. He said, hey, can we have a conversation? Can we talk? He did come in very nice, very gently and whatnot. And I was like, she felt ambushed and all this stuff. And I was like, wait, was there a scene we missed? Was he yelling and screaming at her? I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Were the other couples there? The way she felt it, it was very, very intense. And that is going to continue with the intensity. And I don't think he wants it. He's going to have another night terror tonight. He's going to have another night waking up screaming because of how she behaved. I don't think this is going to work too much. I felt it was cute. He has his little wig bros at the beginning. They have their concert wigs and stuff. But Derek can go with Josh to the Burning Man concert, and they could go camp out in the desert. But again, she was testy when she fell off that wave board. She was testy. She was testy. She said, I am perfect. I told you I'm a perfectionist, and you don't believe I'm perfect. And we have a problem here now. He's been all over the world, and he decided to settle down now. I'm side-eyeing most of these men except Patrick that moved to Austin recently. I'm side-eyeing all of them. Did you move for the show? Did you move for the show? But for him, he's been all over the world, and now because your friends are in Austin, and then conveniently the show is here. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan, but I'm wondering if he does not join the family business, what's going to happen? Because his mom already told his parents, both his parents, after she done danced with his daddy on the dance floor, if they're together after 6 months, then y'all could come by the house. Who does that? Who does that? And when at the wedding, when she's having an emotional moment with her bridesmaids, what you crying for? Daggone it. I understand a whole lot about Megan, but I'm gonna need her to turn down the dial of, having behaviors like her mother just a little bit. Precious, we good?
Yeah. I was just gonna say I think Megan's issues. For first of all, she says she's an introvert. I don't think she's an introvert. I think she is neurotic, is what I think. I don't think she's an introvert because you can see from the way her mum talks to her, treats her. I think she's grown up in a shell because of the very abrasive, very just not very nice. Her mum is mean. Her mum is mean way and controlling, very overbearing way that her mum is towards her. And I think she's mistaking anxiety and anxiousness and fear for being an introvert. And she was saying, she mostly just works, she doesn't really go out much, she doesn't do anything. That's because your self-esteem is low and you seem to not have much confidence because your husband is telling you you're not asking me enough questions and you feel like you're being ambushed after sitting there with Brittany, Jaylen, Belinda, and Rhonda and saying, yeah, me and him are getting really well, we're asking questions, we're doing this. And you've already had sex with him, which, quite frankly, I'm shocked because I never would have imagined someone like Megan would have done that. So clearly she's very attracted to him. Um, um, and so, but it's that thing of you aren't asking any questions. You're not, your conversational skills are non-existent. So it's either you do not have much experience talking to men, or you just don't have much experience talking to other people in general because you don't go out much and you're used to just having your small group of friends that you hang out with and that's it. But there is no conversational skills. There's no ability to at least ask further questions, or even if you don't ask questions, explain more of your answer. She goes, I'm closer to my mum, but then doesn't explain why. Like it's very there's nothing. It's like talking to a glass wall. There's absolutely nothing. And this poor Derek man is trying. When I say that man is trying, he is trying. He's basically talking to a wall. And he's really, he's trying to pull her along with him. And then when she was like, "Oh, I just want to be alone and I just want to be away from everybody," I was like, see, this is why you think you're an introvert. You're not. You're not an introvert. You're just very anxious, very neurotic, very insecure, and you probably have low self-esteem. And you have to manage your emotions alone because growing up, you were never given a space to self-regulate with your parent or self-regulate with somebody who was, older. and be able to figure out how to do that together. She probably had to deal with her emotions alone because she was probably in a household where her parents were very highly critical of her emotions. If she showed any form of not living up to something, it was very harsh criticism, very sort of mean wording. So now any form of like, oh, you're not doing this, it's basically saying I'm not good enough as a person. My worth isn't high enough now. My worth has gone down because that's probably how she was being spoken to. And it makes sense as to why then she's still in that family business, even though she said, I wanted to become a realtor so I could have independence, but I'm still here. You could tell when she was doing her makeup and her mum was she has such resentment and towards her mother. Like she does not like that woman. Her face when her mum would open her mouth to say anything, it was just a lot of like I don't resentment and just why are you here? Why are you even talking? Like why are you opening your mouth right now? Like she does not like that woman. Um so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much pull her mum has, especially when they come back from honeymoon and she has more contact with family. She's going back into the family business because she basically was saying, working with my family, they're everywhere. I can't get away from them. So it's going to be interesting to see how her mum's influence comes back to the relationships because I'm sure it will somehow. Um, but yeah, Derek is being patient. I don't obviously Derek is not perfect, but Derek is being very patient. He's trying. I do think the way she reacted to the night terrors though was a bit wild because she didn't even try and comfort the guy. She didn't go, "Oh my God, that sounds like such a horrible experience. Like, I'm so sorry you had to experience that." She just went, "Oh wow, okay." Like there was no like, "Oh, I'm sorry," or like, "Is there anything I can do to help?" Nothing. I was like, Megan, what is wrong with you?
Is this what I have to live with?
I was like, Megan, what is wrong with you? Like, what is going on? So yeah, no, I can't lie. So yeah, I don't, that relationship is not going anywhere. But it'll be interesting to see how it breaks down because I think it's going to be very spectacular because all the things that she was saying about how she was feeling, she was saying it in her little confessional. She wasn't saying it to him. So it's going to be interesting to see, um, at least from the previews, how she really comes at him with her things. So yeah, but yeah, she's wild for that. I can't lie. Can't even say, oh my God, I'm so sorry for your night terrors. Like, tell me more. Like the man basically said, my dad was running up and down the boat, screaming and hollering and shouting and terrorizing us all. And all she had to say was, okay, that sounds crazy, and that was it. Like, yeah, she's wild for that. I can't lie.
But Precious, that's her mama. The same mama that said, "What you crying for?" is
Yes,
is what Megan is like. What is this nonsense?
she's crazy. She's wild for that. But yeah, so poor Derek, man. I'm Team Derek on this one. I can't lie. I'm Team Derek.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, good people. I came in late and I came in hot. What did we talk about the black couple already?
Yes.
Because I forwarded through most of the clear people just to get to the black people because those people was entertaining me the most.
Share your opinion about them anyway.
Well, dangly earrings and lace shirt, he is definitely a problem as well. He definitely got a lot going on. Um, I think that it's so unfortunate because they seem to be missing each other, but I think he wants to miss her on purpose because I don't think he like her, if I'm being honest. Because after they done had the relations and supposedly they done had, I guess, a mishap where they didn't have the prophylactics together, and you would think the next reaction, this is your wife, that he would be like, it's okay, babe, we'll be more cautious next time, but I enjoyed it. He just looked at her when she was like, I'm looking for security. He was like, I see how you could feel that way. That's like that's always his response. And I think he thinks he's being like he seems to be so focused on being right or just like not saying anything, not saying the wrong thing that he misses when he could just say something. So I don't think he, yeah, yes, Tihu. I don't think he liked the coochie, and he stressed that poor lady's old black parents out when he told them he was agnostic. Why he talk over those people's heads like that? Because they was looking at him like, "Say what now? Do you believe in the Lord Jesus as your savior or what? What's all this talk you talking?" He was like, "Well, I really don't believe in the church as an institution, and right now I'm in an agnostic kind of place." I said, "Oh, he's gonna be pure entertainment for us this entire season." Then he stressed the daddy out because he couldn't tell him that he would be a leader. The father was like, "Well, are you prepared to lead, son?" He said, "I don't think she needs to be led." So he's being a modern man. I foresee this being the couple to watch. They're gonna stress us all the way out, but they are my favorite couple, and I did like the clear people because they was getting into it. Did y'all see? Even the older people, they was busting it wide open. They was just a cracking and happy.
What are you trying to say? That older folks ain't getting it in?
No, that's not what I was trying to say. I was saying that they didn't waste the time. The younger folks was, we're gonna wait. We always see on maps, we're gonna take our time. That's most of the sentiment, right? Some people, do what they want to do, but the older folks was like, no, let's get into it. That lady, I don't know her name. Sorry. She jumped in the
Rhonda.
pool with her dress. That's the one that jumped in the
Rhonda.
pool with her dress.
Rhonda.
She's a good time girl. I now she's my type of clear person. You know,
Not a good time girl.
she is a good time girl for me. Yeah, I like her a lot. I'm very entertained by her.
There's a good old country song that's called Time's a Wasting. I think that's what they're living by.
Hey, and I'm here for it because they ain't wasting no time. They got the cracking, and it looked like whatever happened, everybody was enjoyed the situation.
Did they?
So it seemed. Unless I fast forwarded, it seemed like a good time was had by all parties involved.
I think you were going too fast.
Oh. Well, I'll trust your opinion and I'll take it as such. So there goes that.
Because if you annoy me after the fact, and shout out to the last dragon, and I ain't got that glow. That glow is gonna keep you from being quite annoyed after the fact. So I don't see a whole lot of glows that are lasting.
What about what's the lady? Is her name Lydia?
There's no Lydias here.
What's
Belinda,
is that
married
the
to
lady that
Chad.
looks kind of Spanish? She looks kind of
Yes,
Spanish.
that's
Okay.
Jaylen's mother.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah, her.
It's Belinda and Chad.
Okay, I like them. They seem nice. He went out and brought her a whole rock for her finger. Was that
Oh,
real
Sean,
or did I
you
miss
missed a
something?
lot. You missed a lot.
It
Yeah,
was
he did
fake?
buy it, but when he said he couldn't take her name because it's a Latino sounding name and he don't look like that.
What?
You see, I know there's a lot you didn't hear, Sean. I know.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replay because I'm so lost at what happened. I wasn't nosy nurse. I sped through it because I wanted to at least not be so far gone. So I was speeding through. I watched little pieces and bits, and then I fast forward. I watched all the black people scenes. Now them, what's his name? I'll say what's his name? Chad,
Will,
Chris, Will. There you go.
the black folks
Him,
are Will and Brittany.
Brittany. Yes, yes. I know she's 29 and he's 30. That I know. I watched all you ask me anything about them, I can tell you. I watched it. Her sister passed from COVID. You know, some other, I think she had two sisters that passed away. No, it wasn't one.
Yes. Oh, you caught
See,
that, Sean.
see,
Many
see,
people miss that.
see. I'm telling you, I watched them. I made sure I watched.
Did you see her cut him
The,
off when he was talking to her at the altar?
now that I might have missed. What she do?
No, when he was trying to engage with her and she turned and said hello to his family, he was still speaking.
Was he? Could she hear him? Did she know?
It
Was he
seemed
talking
like,
in that low
because
voice?
his face kind of gave a little twinge, little.
Oh, so that's why he pissed at her. I'm telling you, he looked like he petty. So he probably remembered that first instance.
He is
Because
petty.
when he told her, did you? Because she was like, I feel like I do. You know, I do a lot of talking and try to get to know you. He was like, really? With words? I said, oh boy, we in for a bumpy ride.
With some nice shirts, though. He has some nice fashion, Sean.
He did until I saw in that preview that pink lace number. That threw me for a
He
loop.
likes nice shirts. He does like nice shirts.
Yeah, nice shirts and dangly earrings. That's a
Yeah.
dangerous combo.
Yeah, we don't like the dangle earrings. You know how we feel about that around here.
And the double dangly, ooh, he gonna be hell. He gonna be hell, let me tell you.
Well, he's not chasing anyone. Isn't that what y'all said for 2025? We are not climbing any walls.
Elsid, don't be a mischief maker, okay?
I'm just, I'm just bringing up, I'm going back to the records as stated.
That is not what we were talking about, okay? We're not talking about passive aggressive behavior which he was exhibiting in this episode. Several of the episodes. And I made Seaway catch up with me too. So while I was watching, she was on the phone and he was stressing her out through the phone.
You did not have Seaway watch it two
be
times the
be
speed?
prepared for her. Else it wasn't even two times. It was probably 22 times the rate I was going through.
Trey says no walls in 2025. So she has to climb back over the wall, back to the room, and come back and have a calm conversation.
Yeah, I think, she could do a better job of communicating with him. I gotta say that, like she gets there and then shuts down. You know what I mean? Like she will say, hey, listen, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm looking for. And then when he responds, she she gets triggered and then she just like she shuts down. That's how I see with the two of them. So I don't know if they're gonna figure it out. I'm not sure. But I know y'all were talking about Derek and Megan. I did watch a couple of their scenes. I watched that paddleboard scene, and I'm not sure where he went wrong because why did she just crash out like that? Like, why did she just internalize everything he said when he was like, I would just like to share more with you. I feel like I'm not sharing enough of me. I want you to get to know me. She was like, what do you mean? I feel the same way. I'm like, okay, now we're playing tennis. Ma'am, just hear him out. He's just saying, I want to let you get to, I want you to get to know more of me. I was like, how did we get there?
Remember, Sean, she said she's a perfectionist in her life, in her work. Everything has to be perfect. So he's telling her she's not perfect.
I'll keep my opinion to myself, but I think she has to wake up from that delusion because none of us are perfect, and it's like he simply was having a conversation with you.
I think she's just not used to being. She's not used to being in a relationship. She's been single for a long time. She also says that like she doesn't go
Oh,
out
how
much.
long was she single?
I can't remember. I think it was like what was it like 3
Years.
years?
Yeah, it was years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to pull my
Or
notes for
7.
that.
She says 7 years. She says she's been single
7
for
years.
7 years.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, and she doesn't go out a lot. Um, and you know, she says that she's an introvert because of it. But I just think she just can't handle the interplay of of being with people and maybe having people give her constructive criticism or to say that like, you're doing something that's crazy or or something like that. I think she just can't handle that. So I think she tries to then blame it on being an introvert, but really I just don't think she works well with people. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why she's still at home with working with family. That's what she knows. I She doesn't have that relational safety to be able to go out there and meet new people, learn new people, try to be social and have those conversations. It doesn't seem to be in her wheelhouse. So if anyone gives her any criticism or even just feedback, just general feedback, she takes it really personally, and I think that's what we saw in her little crash out of feeling ambushed just because he said, "Ask me more questions."
Okay, that's good insight, Precious. I appreciate you giving me the inside scoop because I didn't understand why she got so triggered, and now I understand that it's like she just internalized and personalized everything he was saying.
Yeah. And then she started making it tit for tat, and then
Yeah,
she was
then I
like,
see her
"I'm
flipping
not."
out, talking about the toilet seats left up, and the
Yeah,
dog is looking at her crazy.
it
Yeah,
was
she looks
crazy.
like a
And then she
crash
was,
out.
yeah, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm not trying to be tit for tat," and I'm like, "My girl, that's exactly what you're doing. Like, what are we doing here?" And then she's like, "I want to be alone. I just want to be alone right now." And I'm like, "You were alone. That's why you're here. That is why you're on this show because you were alone. So now you want to be alone after saying that you didn't want to be alone anymore because you've been alone for 7 years. Now you want to be alone. Make up your mind, my girl. Make up your mind."
Well, listen, I appreciate the dialogue. It's been good. 2 hours, went slightly over the time, but very good live and very good perspectives from everybody. Appreciate you, Sean, for joining us. Well, I know next week we go again, and you have enough. Hopefully, you have enough time to watch because it is 4 episodes. I can't lie to you, it is a lot. I'm on 2 times speed. 3 episodes next week, so I guess this week. Sorry, I'll be watching it on 1.5 speed. I can't lie to you because and then we've got the time to watch all those shows in 1 hour blocks. Okay. So 1.5 speed makes it half an hour. That's a half, you know what I mean? That's how I look at it in my head. Yep. Yep. But listen, look, audience, it's been an amazing conversation. It's been really, really good. We've enjoyed, we've really gone deep as well. We spent a lot of time with Brittany and Will, broke them down. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen the next week, of course, because it's shown us these great, next week episodes, which look a bit like there's carnage coming from all angles and all sides. But generally, this looks like a good season. I can't lie. I'm invested. And, the couples look like there are some actual things that can be worked out if they get the right kind of expertise. If not, well, guess we'll be saying au revoir to them too. And they'll be all divorced by the end of the season. You know what I mean? Shout out to Peacock in their first season. But I have a feeling that Peacock trying to at least get their first season underneath the belt. I hope they're trying to get underneath their belt. You know what I mean? Before they, because these people seem quite normal. I can't lie to you. I was surprised. You know what I mean? So I guess they're probably waiting for the next season to drop the crazy people, and to put the people that are clout chasers and another Edmund. I'm sure they'll put on the show. But listen, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that wonderful bell button for notification of the uploads. We will be back tomorrow because of course the reunion drops. Actually, is it night? What time is it? The reunion is at 9 p.m.
Yes, 9 p.m. EST.
I won't be back tomorrow. So we'll be back Thursday for that live. We'll have Thursday night. We can talk about the Lovers Blind reunion and break that down. Or we might save it till Saturday. We'll see. Because actually, I think
I would say save it to Saturday so I can join. Thanks.
I have mine on Saturday. Thanks.
With your JBL headphones. What time is yours, Elsid?
5 p.m. EST.
10 o'clock our time.
Yes, that's doable. It's an
Well, you know what you can do? You can do and join El Cid.
Hey, come on, Precious.
Yeah, we'll probably go on a Thursday. I think I'll probably do a live on Thursday. But yeah, because only one episode, right? So I might do it Thursday because I think by next week we have Ready to Love, which means Saturdays are back for Ready to Love. So we'll wait till Ready to Love comes back first. But yeah. So listen, audience, we are out. Seaway says, Sean, she left you for a couple of seconds, and now you're on this live. So you go and talk to your friend over there. And for the audience members, make sure you're hyping this video up, you're liking, you're sharing, and you're subscribing, and clicking on that wonderful bell button. If you've not joined the membership, it's £1 a $1. Okay, all right. Join the membership so you can join these super panel lives, because I'm gonna make all of them membership only. I ain't gonna lie to you, so you won't be able to chat. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Yeah. By the way, gotta go. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. Much love and much appreciation. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Are you done? Are you done?
Little black book. You know what time it is.